A group of elderly Swiss women have won their case at the European Court of Human Rights. They argued that their government's efforts to combat climate change were inadequate and had put them at risk of dying during heat waves. The landmark ruling says the human rights of over 2,000 women had been violated because of Switzerland's failure to reduce greenhouse gases. But the court rejected two other similar cases brought by a group of young Portuguese people and another by a former French mayor. Well, Elisabeth Stern is one of the members of the Board of Senior Women for Climate Protection Switzerland who took the case to court, and I'm pleased to say she joins us now. Welcome to the programme, Elisabeth. Thank you for joining us. So you're part of this group of women who brought this case and won. What's your reaction to the verdict?
Well, can you imagine the joy that we have, the joy that we experience? Maybe not right away in my case, because it took a while until the penny dropped, until I realized, my God, we actually won, we won, we won. And that was an amazing feeling that came a little bit slow and only after first having some tummy ache, because I felt sorry for the Portuguese, because they lost their case. But on the other hand, the joy is just immense.
So as you say, two other cases didn't win. Yours did. How significant is this for climate campaigners and for human rights?
Well, that's what we hope, that it is actually maybe even more than just a ripple in a pond, but that it has reverberations to other countries. It certainly will have that to the other countries that belong to the European Council. Like Switzerland belongs to the European Council. The court in Strasbourg, the European Human Rights Court, is the court of the countries of the European Council, and this is, of course, now a decision, a ruling that has reverberations to the other countries. That very definitely so, and we have reactions all around the world from people who say, ooh, like today I spoke to somebody from Brazil who said, well, maybe now we dare to take on our government for failing to protect us.
So what made you want to get involved in this in the first place? How have you seen the climate where you live change over the years?
I saw it very strongly because, as just one example, when I was a kid and we had 3 days in a row 30 degrees, we got what was then called hay holidays, from haying. And during my primary school it happened twice, not more. And now we have many times, like even 3 weeks in a row with between 33 and 35 degrees. So that's one very clear change. And then, of course, our greatest change is the melting of the glaciers. When I grew up, I learned that the Alps, the Swiss Alps, are actually the water castle of Europe. And now the glaciers are just melting away at a rapid pace.
So do you think we will now see more cases like these, potentially leading to action like the one that the Swiss government must now take?
I would assume so. It certainly gives a sign that one can do that. You know, even for me, growing up in this really highly democratic country, it was a great surprise when I learned 6 years ago when I joined the Senior Women for Climate Protection. It was a big surprise for me that you actually could take your own government to court. It was like unbelievable. And yes, of course, if they don't do their job, you have to help them a bit by kicking them in the back.
Elisabeth, great to talk to you today. Thank you for joining us. That's Elisabeth Stern from the Board of Senior Women for Climate Protection Switzerland.